Northeast Tonight, brought to you by Oil India Limited, conquering newer horizons.
Hello and welcome to Northeast Tonight, the show that decodes the region. Apart from the Northeast, the Anti-Citizenship Amendment Act agitation has hit multiple cities across India, including capital Delhi. A common trend that has emerged is that students are at the forefront of this mass protest against the changes to our citizenship law. The big question: can a mass agitation succeed without the involvement, backing, or support of the student community today? Why is it that students in India are always found to be actively involved in protests over issues or government moves that they think is not right? Can political parties or civil society be able to mobilize the masses without the backing or involvement of the students or youths? To discuss the subject, I am joined from Guwahati by ASU Chief Advisor Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee. In New Delhi, I have a postgraduate student from Assam, Subhrangshu Pratim Sharma. From Itanagar, I am joined by Tukbom Ligu, General Secretary of the All Nisi Students Union. In Imphal, I have Bruce Pebam, a leader of the All Manipur Students Union. And at our studios, I have Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, Professor at the Northeastern Hill University, Susanto Talukdar, Senior Journalist, and Utpal Sarma, a Central Executive Committee member of the All Assam Students Union. Gentlemen, welcome to Northeast Tonight. First, going to Delhi, going to you, Subhrangshu Pratim Sharma. Subhrangshu, why is it that the student community, you think, is the forefront of every important mass movement in this country, and now is no exception? In the CAA movement or the anti-CAA movement is no exception. What are your thoughts?
I think, sir, students are at the forefront of the struggle for in any democracy, because John Locke has said that protest is the art of democracy. We need it to abstain it from getting into dictatorship. So students have a stake in the democracy. They are the future. They are the ones who decide what the country going to be. They have aspirations. They have ideas. They can see the flaws of the past. They can see the present, what's happening around them. They are living the reality, and they hope a greater future. So if they themselves don't participate, if they don't have a direct stake as voting citizens of this country, so who else will? Because they feel that they have an active role, so they should participate. They are participating. And as of now, I think that given the current climate of this country, or it has been going on since ages, be it the Gujarat times when Narendra Modi protested, Arun Jaitley protested, in Assam agitation when Horbando Khunwal, Prafulla Mohanty, Himanta Biswa Sarma, look at Lalu Prasad, look at Nitish Kumar, every top leader of this country who have come from the student agitations only. So I think it's a vital part of the democracy, and having the stake, observing everything, they feel that they need to make a direct attempt. They need to voice out the concerns as young people, and they have to effect the change.
All right, I'll come back to you. Let me take the views of the younger panel members today. I'm coming to you, Utpal Sharma, Central Executive Member of the All Assam Students Union, here in the studios with me. Utpal, it is true, as Subhrangshu said from New Delhi, Subhrangshu is also from Assam. As Subhrangshu said that, they are the real stakeholders in the sense that, they have to see the present, they have to think about the future, and they have also seen how things were in the past. So they are the people who need to participate. But my question to you is, why is it that, all student organizations, Northeast is a particular region of the country where every community has a student group. This is a unique feature of the Northeastern region. Now, all these student groups say that we are non-political organizations, but 90% or more of the issues that the student organizations take up or fight for are issues related to, somehow related to politics or political issues. Why do you think so?
No, the basic thing is that when an organization claims it to be a non-political organization, it simply means that it's apolitical in character. It doesn't have an inclination towards a particular political ideology, or it is not affiliated to a particular political party. But non-political doesn't mean politically unaware, all the student bodies, particularly in Northeast and Assam, they are politically very much concerned, and it is politics that shapes the future and present of the nation. Students are the major stakeholders of the society. They form a very significant part of the society. If they do not get indulged in the issues concerning to the politics, concerning to the future of the nation, then who will? So even if the students' organizations are non-political in nature, they are very much concerned with the issues pertaining to politics, and they are indulged in those issues for the betterment of the society only.
All right, all right. Interesting point. Non-political does not mean you need not be aware of what is going on around you. You have a responsibility as a student who are the futures of this country, future leaders, to jump into issues and make your presence felt, of course, in the right direction. Let me go to Imphal, where I am joined by Bruce Pebam. Bruce Pebam is a leader of the All Manipur Students Union. Okay, Imphal, I'm getting it slightly later. Let me go to Mr. Tukbom Ligu. He's the General Secretary of the All Nisi Students Union, joining me from Itanagar. Tukbom, do you think today, in today's context, do you think any mass movement is possible without the involvement of the students or the youths? If you keep the student community aside, if you de-link the student from a movement, do you think that movement will not have adequate steam, adequate momentum? What do you think, Tukbom?
For me, it's very clear. Here we have to be very much clear that we should not mix up, because we should not differentiate every citizen in a student or in a senior categories, because every movement, every memento which the country needs is a voice from every corner, which includes students also.
Okay.
At this point of view, for me, I feel that every movement should be backed by the student organization. It's very
so Tukbom, you are not giving, that means you don't want to give yourself any special status as a student group or a student union. You don't say that you carry any special status, nothing at all. That's what you are saying.
No, it doesn't mean that. I mean that student organization carries an important role in any kind of movement. Student organization carries a role. That statement I am giving.
Okay. I'll come back to you. Professor Prosenjit Biswas, how do you look at this trend in this country today? More than 30 to 40 universities in this country are today at the forefront, or at least are participating in this anti-citizenship law movement, anti-citizenship amendment act movement, whether it is in the national capital, whether it is in the metropolitan cities, whether it is in the northeastern region. Now, what are your thoughts? How do you see this trend? Because we in the Northeast are very familiar with students being at the forefront of the agitation, and that started in 1979 with the ASU agitation against the foreign nationals. What are your thoughts?
Citizenship Amendment Act is a great trigger for the student community to question the status quo. And there is a broad-based democratic alliance of a number of groups which are generally socially active on social issues, to ethnic groups, to even religious groups which are not religious per se, but who has a record of social service, have all come together. And therefore, you can see a rainbow alliance or a coalition shaping up through the millennials, and most of them are between 20 to 25. You can see their ages. And then you can see the kind of language that they are speaking, which is an important democratic language that defies the division between communities, that defies religious sectarianism, and that speaks in the language of democracy and secularism, which is very, very important, which is under challenge in the current dispensation. So CAA has opened up a kind of a space for protesting for everyone, being led by the students and the youth, and speak a language which moves above communitarianism and any kind of social division.
Now, Susanta Talukdar, the ruling party, that is the BJP, has been the mover and shaker of this citizenship bill, and then it has been transformed into a law. Now it has been passed. Now my question is, many BJP leaders in the last couple of days are saying, oh, the students are agitating because inko bharka raha hai. Opposition is, inciting the students, utilizing the students, using the students to come to the streets, to pelt stones, attack the government, attack the police. Is it so simple as that? Do you think students can be, instigated simply and they will come to the streets and risk their lives, risk their academic year and so on?
If they think that the students can be instigated, they have instigated by their own actions of the mismatch between the promises and the governance. Because see, the students and youth were the main targets as far as the electorates were concerned when the BJP led NDA came to power and also for the second term.
Yeah.
So they made all kinds of promises, and as Professor Bishwas has rightly said, that they also talked about many things about the Indian constitution and Indian democracy, which the students have found that there is a mismatch between what they promised and what they have done now. So they have come out, and there are interesting figures from for this government itself, that in between 2009 and 2014, the Bureau of Police Research data shows that student-led protest has risen by 148% in India.
Student-led protest risen by 148. This is the record of the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Yeah, the Bureau of Police Research.
Bureau of Police Research and Development, BPRND.
Yeah, I'll just add to that. And Karnataka reported the maximum, highest number of student-led protests that accounts for 12% of these protests, this rise in the student-led protest. And keep in mind that the Karnataka banned students' union in colleges, despite the ban in student union colleges.
Despite that, it is increasing.
Yeah.
Now, Subhrangshu, in the last few days, the narrative in outside the Northeast. I'm not talking about the Northeast. I'm outside the Northeast. The people are saying, oh, the students are protesting. Look at Jamia. Look at what happened in Aligarh Muslim University. Look at what happened in Bangalore. All these people are incited mostly by opposition political parties. Now, how do you look at this situation? You are in the thick of things in New Delhi.
So my biggest grievance with this issue is that currently I extend my full solidarity with the students movement. I think all of us have some different issues with the government and we need to get that addressed, and that has amalgamated with the current protest, which is all fine. But the issue in Delhi is all about, it is Hindu versus Muslim, why Muslims have been excluded. But while in the Northeast, our argument has always been about the bill is anti-indigenous. It is against Assam Accord. It is against the basic tenets of the accord that was signed between Government of India and Assam government. So this issue has been marginalized in the entire national debate. Of course, Assam's issue has been raised, but it's not been given that much importance. The argument of indigeneity, the argument of settler colonialism, the argument that Assamese identity and culture is in threat in some form or the other, or we need some protection, those issues are not being raised, which is my serious concern.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a serious concern now.
I just want
yes,
to
Susanta, you want to add something?
No,
yes, carry on.
I mean, there is a wrong perception being created outside India that Northeast is only protesting about indigeneity. That is a concern about that. But then all Assam students from the right, from the very beginning of this movement, they've been calling this bill a communal bill. It's a divisive bill. Yeah. And they say that it is violating of the Indian constitution.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but the focus.
Yeah.
But perhaps has been already raised.
No, because this bill talks about on a religious lines.
No, that's why. No, that is true. But I would also tend to agree that in the northeastern region, the threat from the bill is perceived to be largely against indigenous language. Take the case of Assam. It is seen as an affront to the Assamese language, culture, and way of life. That is the reason why people. Yes,
I just want to add.
Yes,
see, Assam Accord talks about the driving out or identification of the illegal migrants on the basis without the basis of religion. I mean,
absolutely.
So that is the basis.
True.
So that way,
That way,
you cannot just narrow it down to the indigenous.
No, absolutely. It's not a open and shut kind of a case.
It's not narrowing down, but our voice has to reach.
Voice has to reach.
It is
but
Assam and Northeast
popular
India,
perception. We are only talking about the popular perception. We are just making a very broad generalization that in the Northeast it is on indigeneity, it is attack on the language, culture, and way of life. That is the broadly it is seen. Of course, everybody is saying that how can religion be made a criteria for granting citizenship in this country? That is, of course, there at the back of the mind in the northeastern region. Whereas outside the Northeast, the prime focus, people are looking at it from a Hindu-Muslim prism. Now, let's not go into that. That's a different debate.
Assam and Northeast showed the India that that bill has to be protested because it violates the preamble of the constitution.
Okay, but it has taken quite a different character outside the northeastern region. No one can deny that. But let me go to Imphal, where I am joined by Bruce Pebam. Bruce Pebam is a leader of the whole Manipur Students Union. Bruce Pebam, we are here talking about how students have become an integral part of any mass movement in this country today. Do you think that without the support, involvement, participation of student community, there can be a mass uprising or a mass movement anywhere in India today? What is your reading, Bruce?
No, I don't believe it, because without students, these mass movements and all will have no meaning. In the entire India,
You are agreeing. Bruce, let me be clear. I am asking you. You are agreeing to me.
I don't agree, but what?
You are agreeing. That is what I am saying. Let me be clear. I am asking you the question.
Yeah.
Without the involvement of students, do you think it is possible to lead any mass movement in the country today?
No, without the help of students and without the students' community, there can be no mass uprisings and agitations in a democratic country. And even in the Northeast India and in Manipur in particular, the students since the inception of MSU in 1965 firmly believes that we should not be confined within the four walls of our educational institutions, but we should come out to have a dignified life of our own. And in a conflict-ridden state like Manipur, our right to life has been violated several times. Then that is why, for us, right to life is more important than right to education, and we should study and struggle at the same time. And our struggle is a part of our education. Then that is what we believe in.
All right. Now, Utpal, I'm coming to you, Subhranshu. Utpal Sharma, Utpal, I mean, it is very easy. It is very simplistic to say that we are students, we are non-political. But today, all student groups are politically affiliated. Maybe ASU is a very, very huge exception. Yeah. But otherwise, if you look at the campuses in this country, it is highly politicized from the right at the entry level. The moment you enter a university, you are a political person. There are very few people, yes, there are people who are neutral, but large number of students are either affiliated to X, Y, Z political parties, because the elections to the unions are fought on party lines. Now, do you think that, therefore, it is becoming much more dangerous and much more complex, the student politics in this country today?
No, this won't be right to say that this is the political parties that are instigating the students to get indulged in such agitations. Because if you see the universities and colleges that are protesting against this Citizenship Amendment Act, these institutions and these colleges, universities are ranked very high by the National Institute Ranking Framework, which is a government-based department. Because students are coming out to the street with a deep realization, and the realization is that our futures are not secured. The basic values, the norms on which the Constitution of India is based on, these norms are being targeted. That is why students are coming out. And about political affiliation, when you enter to a student campus, not all the students in a campus are indulged in student politics.
Absolutely, I have said that.
A few students who are indulged in student politics, they might have any political inclination, but in this particular case where anti-CA movement is going on, all the students, irrespective of their political ideologies, their religion, their caste, creed, they're coming out to the streets. So this is the basic thing that students are feeling our futures are not secured, and this is the high time. If we don't take the initiative on our own, our future will be demolished totally.
So Subhranshu, we have seen other student-led protests on other issues. How different is this protest over the Citizenship Amendment Act? Do you think this is a turning point in student politics in this country? So whatever you have seen so far. Subhranshu.
See, I have very limited experience. I'm just 22. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. I'm just a 22-year-old student. I haven't seen much of life. But what I see is that students have always been at the crux of a historical turn in any sort of revolution or any sort of thing.
Right.
So of course, I cannot predict at this point of time whether this will be a turning point or not. But I can say that definitely it will send a strong message that students stand for so-and-so things, whatever they have been talking about.
All right.
Students care deeply about the idea of India. Students care deeply about the idea of protest and dissent.
Right. I'll come back to you. Sorry to cut you off there. I am now joined by Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee, live from near Lota Hill, where the protest is going on, the chief advisor of the All Assam Students Union. Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee, in New Delhi and other cities, some of the political leaders, they are saying, oh, the students are protesting, they are being incited by opposition parties, they are being instigated by certain forces, so on and so forth. But do you subscribe to this view, or do you think the students are coming out on their own? Do you think it is a spontaneous protest, not just in the Northeast, but all around the country?
I don't know about the other parts of the country, but in Assam and Northeast, the student community, with the guidance of the people of Assam and Northeast, are determined to continue this movement in a non-violent and disciplined way. And here in Assam and Northeast, there is no high command of the student bodies. The high command is the people of the state and the region. That's the unique character of the student bodies of Assam and Northeast. Here, in other parts of the country, the students' body may have their high command, like other political parties. But here in Assam, the All Assam Students Union, the Northeast Student Organization, in different part of Northeast, Mizo Jilai Paul, all Tripura Student Federation, all Manipur Students Union, Khasi Students Union, Garo Students Union, all Manipur Students Union, all Arunachal Pradesh Union. Who is the guy high command? The people of this region, people of Assam, people of Northeast is the high command of this all student organization. So people's thinking is the main guiding force to carry this movement.
Right, that's a very interesting way of putting it. The high command of the students are the people of the region, which the people they represent. Before you joined, Dr. Samujal Bhattacharya, we were asking this question, whether any mass movement in this country, I am not only talking about this present movement, I am asking a general question, because you have been leading the student agitation from a student group from a very long time. My question is, do you think in today's India, any mass movement will be successful without the direct involvement or participation or support of the student community? What do you think?
No, I can tell about the Assam and Northeast.
Yeah.
Here the student community's participation is 100%. And along with the student community, the people from all spectra of the life, everybody had participated in the movement in a spontaneous way. See, all Assam Karmachari Parishad in Assam, they have called strike.
Yeah.
So throughout all the whole administration of Assam was collapsed. Yesterday, all Assam Lawyers Association had given a call. All the lawyers of the state, they came out to the street, and they had lost protest. Today, you see, as per the request of ASU and 30th organization, all the women organizations, the educationists, throughout Assam, in all areas, the women, our mothers, our sisters, women, they came out, and they had lost protest. And it's a very loud and clear message, no to car. And see, in any mass movement, the movement can be successful only with the support and participation of the women, mothers. And here in Assam movement, why the movement was successful? Because of the participation of our mothers and sisters and women.
That means
today throughout Assam.
That means
throughout Assam,
right,
mothers, our sisters, women, they came out.
That means it is very clear. This is what I was asking all my panelists. They have also come up with very good responses. And now from what you have said, Dr. Samujal Bhattacharya, it is very clear that a student movement, student is giving the leadership. The student organization, in this case the All Assam Students Union, is providing the leadership, and the other people, you are showing them a track and they are following. So therefore, student agitation is a student movement, a student community can indeed play a huge role in mobilizing the masses. It has been proved once again, Dr. Samujal Bhattacharya. This time, it has been once again proved.
Also, doctors on that day, during the day of Satyagraha, the doctors, they came out with their dresses to participate in the Satyagraha. You see, all the people from all spectra of life, they have participated. So here I am repeating again, the All Assam Students Union, the Northeast Student Organization, and the constituent body of NESO, we do not have any high command.
No.
The people of Assam and people of Northeast is the high command of ASU and NESO.
Now, how easy or difficult is it for political parties to instigate students to take a particular position? Is it easy or difficult?
I can tell you, no political party can instigate the student community of Assam and Northeast, that is ASU and NESO. We are totally, absolutely non-political student organization. No political party can instigate the student community and ASU and NESO. I am telling you, I am repeating it again. The people of Assam and Northeast is the high command of ASU and NESO, and with the guidance of people, we are initiating this movement. But people are the high command. And number two, I can tell you that the movement this time the movement will continue with the education also. The student will study and take part in the education. Women, they will work, take part in the education. Employees, they will work, take part in the education. Advocates, doctors, in all the people from every sphere. They will work and they will participate in the exam in the moment. And for your information, from 23rd, the examination will start. So we are telling our students, study, you will have to appear in the exam. Others, those who are not appearing in exam, they will participate. So study and education, it will go parallel.
So this time it is very clear, you have the Assam Students Union which is spearheading the movement. Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee, once again you have made it very clear on this program today that student will not lose an academic year, they will have to continue with their classes and then agitate. Similarly, the employees, the staff members of the government and other organizations will continue, whether they are doctors and otherwise others, they will continue with their work and then also agitate. This is the message that you are sending out. Clear message.
Right. There will be strategy. There will be strategy. When, like all Assam Karma Parikot, they have called us cease war for one day. Then again, they can participate in Satyagraha. Then they are working. So strategy wise, like that yesterday, all advocates, they came out from the court. Doctors, one day they came out from the hospital. So there will be strategy.
Yeah.
And particularly for student community. Student community will study, there will be examination and the agitation.
But
in all sphere of life, we will work.
Before
carry our duties. At the same time, in a different strategy, we will carry the movement.
Right. Before I let you go, I know you are extremely busy. Before I let you go, Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee, my question, on the first 2 days of the agitation, 11, 10, 12, there are a lot of violence, and you have come, the Assam Students Union had come very, very strongly warning everybody not to indulge in violence, and you have also decided not to have any kind of agitation from after 5 p.m. and that many people are saying in Assam it was a very good decision, and also telling people to completely adhere to a non-violence movement. That is how student movement should be. So, have you changed your stance? No agitation, no movement after 5 p.m. and your appeal for peace, Dr. Bhattacharjee?
Yeah, for 7 days we have suspended our night agitation. That is number one. But I can tell you this movement will be absolutely non-violent and disciplined movement. And people have what is the strength in the people? With the people. What is the strength with the people? To fight against injustice. The strongest power is in the hand of the people. The strongest arm is in the hand of people. That is non-violent, disciplined movement to fight against injustice.
All right. I will go for a break. Thank you very much, Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee. But before I go for this short break, let me very quickly go to Mr. Tukbom Ligu in Itanagar, and I'll come to all my other panelists. Tukbom Ligu, you have heard the ASU chief advisor, Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee, saying that this movement is going to be absolutely non-violent. But you have seen other panelists saying that student movement is extremely important to give it a mass character. So, why are you saying, have you changed your stand after hearing to the other panelist? You said students should not be segregated, should not be looked as a separate entity. Tukbam.
No, just I have heard the stand of ASU advisor. The movement of this, especially concerning to the northeastern states and state like Arunachal Pradesh. In our state, we have a separate ideological context that every big movements of every social context or the state issues has been headed by the student organization only.
Right. Subhranshu, I'll go for a break. You have heard the ASU chief advisor saying that, non-violent movement, you can continue with your studies, continue with your work, do your respective things, but agitate. This is a new strategy to agitation in Assam.
True. Yeah. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, carry on. We can hear you.
Yeah.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I feel that this is a very good template for all the students of this country, because I think what Dr. Samujal Kumar Bhattacharya has said, carry on your struggle and carry on your studies. I think in that way both things will be managed, because of course I want to make another point. Agitation, how it turned out to be, and later on what were the political consequences for the students, for the leaders, and for the entire community. So we should be wary about all the consequences. We should know where we stand, where the country stands, where the community stands, and then we should take a measured, nuanced decision.
Nuanced decision, the need of the hour. I'll go for a very short break, but viewers, don't go away. I'll be right back after this very, very brief commercial. Welcome back. Utpal Sharma, you know, you have heard your leader, Dr. Samujal Bhattacharya, saying that, everything will continue simultaneously, studies and education, work and education. And now the point is, education has to end at some point of time. We do not want an education mode to continue forever, because that will not bring progress to any particular region anywhere in the country. But my question is, do you think, does it mean that All Assam Students Union has learned from the Assam agitation how the students community in the entire state has lost one full academic year, and how it must have taken the state backward? Do you think you have learned from your experience in the Assam agitation, and therefore this new strategy?
Exactly. During the Assam movement, one valuable academic year was lost by the students. And in Assam, we have a history of students' movement, be it the language movement in 1960, be it the media movement in 1972, be it the food agitation in 1974, then the Assam movement for 6 long years, then the anti-Big Dam movement, and now this anti-CAA movement.
Right.
This time, we shall study and we shall struggle. Study and struggle must go hand in hand.
But you have the exams from the 23rd.
Yeah, let me give you an example. We have exams from 23rd in university. So what we have decided, the university ASU unit and the university law college ASU unit.
You're talking about the Guwahati University.
Yeah, Guwahati University. We shall be distributing a badge where will be printed I oppose CAP. This badge will be distributed among the students. On the 23rd of December, when students will be going to sit for the examinations, that they will put the badges also. So it will mark a protest against the government, that we are protesting against you in the time of examination, when all the other students throughout the world will be studying in an atmosphere of free mind, but we shall be hesitating as well as we shall be studying too.
Okay, so I think this is a peaceful strategy, peaceful form of protest. That is where the students should stand out. Appeal from Northeast Live and from anybody who is sensible will be for students. Everybody has a democratic right in this country to come up with a protest in a democratic, non-violent manner, and more particularly the student community, when they protest, that has to be peaceful. We don't want any kind of stone pelting. So, Subrangshu, who are the stone pelters in New Delhi, for example? Do you have a sense? Give us a sense. Who are these people? Such kind of violence in front of Jamia, such kind of violence in front of other universities and colleges. What's going on?
That's a tough question to answer, because we have multiple narratives going on, but whatever information we have so far that I can say, I'm not from Jamia, so I can't vouch for that, but what I understand is that the stone pelters weren't necessarily the students, because whosoever were arrested were not from the student community. It is true that when certain movement happens, when there's certain agitation or when there's certain mass character of a movement, certain lumpen elements come in, and that takes the turn that makes the movement somewhat compromised. So I think students stand against those kind of violence, and they should stand against violence. And in the Jamia case also, police will take due course, and I think culprits will be caught.
I'm coming to you, Professor Prasajit Biswas. But before that, Mr. Bruce Pebham, Bruce, what do you believe? Power of a peaceful democratic protest is definitely much bigger than any kind of a violent protest. What has been your experience in Manipur? The All Manipur Students' Union itself has been leading several protests over many issues.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the situation also differs from issue to issue and from regions to region. But for Manipur, I think peaceful demonstrations and protests and all finds no relevance. And what to say, the effectiveness of peaceful protest in Manipur is very low, and that is why the people always resorted to violence in order to assert their political rights, their cultural and what to say, all sort of rights. But you see, MSU has been always advocating the non-violence form of agitation since the many years, and in several times and in different periods, these peaceful demonstrations and protests also became violent, and that depends upon the reactions and the response of the government.
Okay, Prasenjit Biswas, it's a very interesting point that people do not listen to peaceful protest. We have seen many a time in the northeastern region that there has been several armed insurgencies also, and many are saying that when you analyze, many say that this would not have been the case had the government or the authorities listened when the agitation was still peaceful. Do you think this is true to some extent, or how do you look at it?
No, the question of relapsing into armed insurgency has been discussed in certain contexts in Northeast India.
Let's not talk about armed insurgency directly. Let's talk about violence first.
Therefore, the kind of violence that we have seen as a kind of an optics of the movement should not be confused as a kind of a violence directed at the state, because people have got together, they are fighting for an issue, and thereby they are fighting against the state machinery also. In the process, there could be some violences, but for which one should not relapse into British-era colonial laws in order to implicate some people. But the larger issue is that various sections of masses must come together, and the student movement must keep itself above any kind of division. Now, if workers, peasants and various other segments of masses do not come together, then the movement doesn't become an all-out movement. Only students cannot carry out a large struggle, if it is at all a struggle against the CAA. Now, for argument's sake, if CAA is taken back, will the student movement come to a halt? Now, this is an important question that student leaders and the student movement must have to address, because there is a larger political issue, democratic issue about constitution. We cannot forget that, and those issues have to be settled in the ambit of the movement in the process of a dialogue and reconciliation as well. That must also come forth.
Now, Susanto, I'm coming to you, Tukbom. Susanto, that means, when we want all sections, when there is all sections of the people, all sections of communities, but in this case, there are women's organizations, there are doctors, there are lawyers, but somehow it appears as if the student groups, that is in the case of Assam, as if it is the ASU which is providing the leadership. Because today also when the women agitated and protested in the Lata Hill, that ground, that was under the banner of ASU. Yesterday when the artists came, that was also under the banner of ASU. So do you think that student leadership at the end of the day end up giving the leadership? And therefore, they are the people who are actually accountable when it comes to any law and order situation?
Because the student people look towards the students because they come out with new ideas and new ideas for betterment of the society. So when it reaches every household, they come out and join the protest undertaken or initiated by the students. So you are right. The students will continue to lead the protest. Other sections of the society will join them. So you have rightly initiated the discussion on the point that students they will be taking the lead in the mass agitation, and it is also important for the government to listen to the peaceful protest, and if they do not listen to the peaceful protest, then it may lead to all kinds of unwarranted situation. And we have instances in the past that where the democratic protesters were sidelined and government signed accords with the armed insurgent groups, even though they were agitating on the same demands.
Right. Now Tukbom, we are discussing, I'm coming to you, Subhrangshu. Tukbom Ligu, what has been the experience in Arunachal Pradesh? Arunachal Pradesh also, during the last issues, some of the major issues, you were talking about that granting of citizenship issue. All Arunachal Students Union and all took a very leading role. And the students were giving the leadership role even that time also. PRC issue, permanent resident certificate issue. In the PRC issue, in Arunachal Pradesh, the students were taking a very lead role.
Yeah, the chapter here is very much clear. The question made by you is very genuine. Because every time a question arises, why a student organization should lead any kind of issues.
Yeah.
The chapter here is the other social organization, the apex bodies, other social organization, they do not come up very openly. That's why the student organization, they always been the first leaders of any kind of movement in Arunachal Pradesh. That's why any kind of social issues or the state context is always headed by the student organization in Arunachal Pradesh.
Right.
And we also feel that every component of the society should come up.
Absolutely. Now, Subhrangshu, unlike the Northeast, where from 1979 or even before that, it is the students who have been taking the lead. So we are not surprised. We are used to student groups taking the lead on any major issue concerning the state. We have seen it. We are familiar with it. But outside the Northeast, this is for the first time in recent memory that students are at the forefront of a major issue concerning the country. In this case, the issue of the CAA. So it is something new for the country. Do you get that sense? Or do you think I am wrong?
I think I have 2 points. Firstly, I have from historical experience, we can see that students have been at the forefront of different movements, historically, as I've already explained.
Right.
But in this particular case, somewhere I feel that in the CAA, they have all the groups, all the students have found an outlet to express their concerns or their worries about some certain issues that concern them, like fee hike, like suppose whatever their sense about the happenings of the country, how the country is functioning, good, bad, whatever. So I think they have found an outlet to express their ideas, and CAA has got an amalgamated format where all these concerns have kind of a melting pot, and they have expressed themselves. I think that's the only difference I can say.
So, Professor Prasenjit Biswas, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, he is right in saying that CAA is a great melting pot, and also the other thing is that students are the whistleblowers. Now they have blown the whistle. Various segments of people have to come together in a dialogue, in a discussion, and also in a kind of mobilization, non-violent, democratic, peaceful mobilization to defend the constitution. If constitution can be defended, then the regional interests also can be defended. If constitution is now segregated, fabricated and distorted, then there will be many problems between groups also. So all these issues have to come together as we are trying to find out a reasonable solution for CAA. And probably what students are demanding, government have to listen to that.
Now, Prasenjit, you see, you were talking about the Subhranshu, and you were talked about the melting pot, the CAA providing, emerging as a melting pot. But you see, if you look at the country, it's a salad bowl of cultures where every ingredient has its own, retains its own distinct identity till the end. That's what is the salad is.
Yes.
But this CAA, you mean to say, is turning up into a melting pot where all these ingredients shed their identity and, speaking out in one voice. Is that what you mean?
Because CAA is bringing into question the idea of citizenship. Those who are citizens of this country have to prove their citizenship again in some way or the other. CAA and NRC are getting clubbed together. Therefore, it creates a certain kind of cultural crisis, a crisis of identity, a question of who is majority, who is minority. All such issues are coming together because of CAA.
Absolutely. Utpal, why do you think, let's not talk only about Assam. You have been observing the whole movement around the country. It was confined to the Northeast, then it has spread. Now it is a countrywide movement. Now, why do you think everyone is jumping into this issue seamlessly, particularly the student groups? Why is everybody identifying themselves with this issue? Is it because it's an issue concerning the citizenship, concerning the very core of this country, or what do you think?
See, there lies a basic difference between the objective of the agitations going on throughout the nation and particularly going on in Assam and northeastern region. For the rest of the country, this movement is basically citizenship is being given on the basis of religion. This agitation is particularly for the non-inclusion of Muslims in these 6 groups. If Muslims is also included, or if a secular color is given to this bill, it will be accepted, very much accepted in most of the areas. But in Assam and Northeast, the situation is something different. We are, first of all, this is communal and unconstitutional, that is a basic thing. Apart from that, what we are concerned is that our language is being threatened, our political supremacy in our own soil is being threatened. So student organizations in Assam and Northeast basically protesting against this bill to protect and safeguard the heritage of this northeastern region.
All right. All right, all right. So that is basically, he has brought about a clear distinction. Now I am running short of time. Last comments. Bruce Pebam, what are your final comments? What is the road ahead now?
Our stand is very clear and firm. We are against the Citizenship Amendment Act, and for Manipur also, the All Manipur Students Union came into agreement in the form of accord in 1980 and 1994 that the illegal foreign nationals should be detected and deported from Manipur, as they should take 1951 as a cutoff base year. So even though ILP is extended to Manipur, it may be a helping hand, but it is not the ultimate weapon to protect Manipur. So we demand that the 1980 and 1994 accord must be implemented at the earliest, and the modalities and the rules for which the
ILP is fine, but
moreover, my last comment is that even though our northeastern states are politically divided, we are emotionally one, and they should consider Northeast as a single bloc, and we are standing unitedly and will fight this bill with tooth and nail, and we oppose it, and in no way we cannot accept it.
All right, Bruce, very well said there. Tukbom, what is your final comment? Tukbom, what is the road ahead? What is your stand finally? Very quickly, 10 seconds.
My final stand as a student activist is that every such kind of anti-citizen bill passed by the government of India, or any kind of government of the concerned state, will be always moved or agitated by the student organization. That's very clear.
Okay.
For the interest of the country and the interest of the
All
state.
right. Subhranshu, your parting words. Last word, Subhranshu.
Yeah, quickly I have 3 points. I have quickly 3 points. A, the government needs to engage with the Brahmaputra Valley. I think it has the best interests of the people in mind, and I think people will also understand. But I think government needs to engage and need to clarify what it has for the Brahmaputra Valley, and I think concerns have to be allayed. B, for the pan-Indian context, it has to clarify the air whether CAB and NRC is related. There's a lot of misinformation going on. When I talk here, people don't know how the NRC process went on in Assam. It's communal, they say. I defend that. I say it was secular. So that is the point. They have to clear all the air about NRC, CAB. They have to allay the fears of the minorities. And third, students ask all the stakeholders have to understand that it's a democratic right, and we also engage it democratically with the government peacefully.
Engage democratically with the government. Government is willing to talk, accept that offer. That is what Subhranshu basically is saying. Engage democratically. Susanto, very quickly, 10 seconds.
Yeah, the student leaders of the mass movement, they will also have to keep in mind that they will also have to take up the challenge of addressing the concerns of the people of depoliticization in the country. So they cannot keep themselves immune to the ideas of political ideas in other fields.
All right.
And I'll just quickly add one point that the NRC in Assam was a secular process, but it is the government which has made it communal by
I'm
giving all kinds of data.
completely running out of time. Last word from you, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas.
We have to negotiate the diversity and the difference which is emerging everywhere in the Northeast. Unless that is negotiated, Naga issue, Bodo issue, so many issues, the entire movement may not be able to unite people. That is my worry.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, this is not the last that we have heard on this issue, but the appeal from all of us here, everybody, all right-thinking people, is that this movement cannot turn violent. It has, whatever you do, protest in a democratic manner, that is your right, but you have no right to take the law in your own hands or indulge in violence and destroy public property. I thank all my panelists for participating in this very engaging discussion. Viewers for watching this, good night and goodbye.
Northeast Tonight, brought to you by Oil India Limited, conquering newer horizons.